This episode of Juice Guru Radio is brought to you by Try Best, making healthy living easy.
Welcome to Juice Guru Radio. Discover what the magic and power of juicing can do for you. And now, your host, best-selling author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Juice Fasting, Steve Prusak.
Well, hello, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Steve Prusak. It's great to be with you. We've got Talia Pollock, creator of Party in My Plants, and we're going to hear all about her, the work she's doing over there. Her recipes have featured on such shows as The Dr. Oz Show, The Doctor, and more. She's all over the place with her message and new book coming out in a couple of years. But we have her here today anyway. So get a juice, some water, and tea. We'll be back right after this with Talia Pollock.
Did you know you can make a great living in the hottest new business trend today? The Juice Guru Certification Program is the world's first online course to give you the knowledge and marketing skills to excel as a juicing coach and start making money in no time. Find out more at juicecoachtraining.com.
Juice Guru Radio.
Well, welcome back to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grabbing your juice and appeasing that. We've got Talia Pollock here. She's actually a holistic health coach from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. She's not a certified juice therapist, but I'll talk to her about that because she should be, as many of you know. But she's also a speaker and a former stand-up comedian, so maybe we'll get some jokes in here too. Plant-based nutrition expert from Cornell University and a health supportive chef from the Natural Gourmet Institute. Let's welcome to the show right now, Talia Pollock.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I hope I was saying your name right.
You nailed it. That's a hard name, and you did it.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people say Talia Pollock. You know, I've gotten it all.
Right, and if I had said it wrong, would you have corrected me or just gone through the interview with...
I wouldn't have corrected you.
You want to...
Yeah. No. Dr. Oz, when I was on the Dr. Oz show, said my name completely wrong, and I did not correct him.
No, why would you? Why would you? It's Dr. Oz. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking time out of Brooklyn and coming, beaming across the country and being here with us in California.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little, I like, a little storytelling. Tell us about your background, how you got into doing the work you're doing now, spreading the message about plant foods and everything else. How did it begin for you?
Oh, man. So I had a very long health journey struggle. I had digestive issues for, over 8 years. And during that time, I sought out everyone I possibly could, multiple natural and naturopathic doctors, acupuncturists, gastroenterologists, everyone I could think, chiropractors, dietitians, everyone. And no one could really tell me anything other than like IBS, which just means BS because they just don't. It's just basically like, yeah, your stomach sometimes hurts and we don't really know why, but like, have fun. Good luck. And at the same time, I was an aspiring stand-up comedian and comedic writer. And so I was pursuing that passion, which brought me to California, where I got an internship for Adam Sandler's company, Happy Madison. And so I was doing that thing. And also California, LA has, the vegan, the healthy, the, whole world out there. That I'm from the East Coast and I hadn't hit the East Coast. This was in 2009. And it wasn't really, a thing yet to be healthy on the East Coast. So at least in my realm of reference. So I'm in LA doing my internship, and after my internship, I would go to these like natural places and these like herbalists and holistic healers to try to, feel better. I was so desperate to figure out how I could feel good because I felt sick every single day. And after one of my appointments with this like herbalist person, I was checking out with like a bag of like $200 worth of herbs to like cure my parasites and all this stuff I had. And I'm like, I tell the receptionist I'm hungry. And she's like, oh, you should go across the street to this place called Planet Raw. They make the most creamy, like amazing coconut smoothie. And I was like, okay. So I go across the street, and I don't know if you know it, but it's like, have you been to Planet Raw?
Right. That's closed. Giuliano's.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
So I go in. I had no idea what Raw, I didn't know what was happening. And it was like the hippiest place.
Yeah.
And I walk in, I say, hey, I'm supposed to like have your coconut smoothie. And they give it to me, and this is like creamy, frothy, white thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't do dairy. And they're like, there's no dairy in this. This is a vegan restaurant. And I was like, what's vegan? I didn't know. But I didn't want to cause a scene. I was embarrassed. I grabbed my smoothie and I'm like, whatever, everything makes me feel sick. Might as well just drink it. And I drank it. And it was the first thing I consumed in 8 years that didn't make me feel sick. And I was like, what is this raw vegan thing? I have to learn everything. And the next day, just went into the plants and taught myself everything I could. I would sit at Barnes & Noble, like transcribing raw vegan, notes onto my pad from all the books. There were no blogs at this time. I mean, no podcasts, no nothing. So I really taught myself everything. And then years later, I have these dueling passions between comedy and health, and eventually decided I didn't want to have to choose one route because, there's not much funny with health and there's not much healthy with comedy. And so I decided after years, and we can talk about those years if you want, to combine the two, and that is what I do now.
I won't take it personal, but I was the first one to have a raw vegan radio show back 10 years ago.
That's awesome.
And but somehow
I'm so sad I missed it.
You totally missed it. And I guess it was before your time, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. That's so cool. So that was in 2008.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have helped me so much.
Yeah, and I'm sorry you missed it all.
I am too.
It was a lot of fun. Let me just give you a little idea. If you're on the, there it is.
Oh my God.
That was the first radio show in that raw vegan world, and so we interviewed all the leaders. And but I'm sorry you missed the bus on that. You would have liked it. It's off the air now.
I would have. Oh, but that's awesome. Good for you.
Well, we've gone down the juicy route here because we figured the best way to inspire people is with a juice a day, and then it leads to other great habits. So we're along the same mission. So
I love that.
You were in the comedy and working with Adam Sandler, really an amazing talent.
Yeah.
And so you're writing some of that raunchy humor, was that right?
No, I was an intern. So I was doing the intern work, but I was in the environment. And then my next job in that world was I actually worked for the Late Show with David Letterman. So, but again, I wasn't like writing that material. I was doing my own stand-up on the side, but at that point for Letterman, I was the crowd pumper-upper. So I would get them all revved up and tell them the rules and not to be on their phones and to laugh, and it was really, really awesome.
Awesome. So then what led you from that to going into health? I mean, it's obviously a lot different. I don't know if you've seen JP Sears. We had him on the show, but he's someone that – have you seen his videos, JP Sears?
I have not.
He does a whole parody of the conscious living movement. He makes lots of videos, and they get like over 1 million hits. And,
I've heard of him. I've definitely heard of him.
Yeah, you probably would know him if you saw him.
Does he have big hair?
The red. He's got the red hair.
Yeah, like hair. Like he's got like hair going on.
Let me see. Like here, let me give you an idea. If you're watching on video here, let me just give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. Right here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
See hair. That's hair.
Right, that's him.
Yeah.
Spiritual as hell.
Cool.
And if you guys are listening on the radio, just refer back to juicegururadio.com or juiceguru.com, and you can find that episode. But he's somebody, I brought him up because he's somebody who went that route, used comedy to educate people about other topics. Is that part of your goal? How did you go from comedy to healthy living?
Yeah, so I was like teetering in these two worlds. So after that smoothie, my life was changed. I realized the power of plants, and I dove headfirst into the green juice Kool-Aid. And, so I was in college still at the time, though, while I discovered the plants. And in order to do all my juicing and dehydrating and, all the stuff that a raw vegan, which was what I was then, diet entailed, really isolated me socially. So I, like I said, I was in college, so I deactivated from my sorority. I dropped off the grid. It was a real struggle to balance like a normal social life and this weird healthy life I was living. So I graduated and I was still pursuing comedy, doing the stand-up, improv, Letterman, all that stuff. But I had this burning desire and this strong passion for the healthy world. So while doing stand-up, I also went to the Natural Gourmet Institute to learn how to cook better plants, and I became the certified holistic health coach. And so I had these two passions, and I kept picking one and then letting the other one kind of fall to the side, because like I said, like, you know, going into stand-up clubs and doing bits, there's nothing healthy about that. And, you know, the two worlds, I couldn't see how they like meshed. So after one stand-up show where I did a set based on like my healthy ways, and I saw people laughing, it just hit me that instead of having them laugh and then continue to eat their like chicken wings and drink their beer and like smoke their cigarettes, what if I had them laugh and then change their life? You know, what if the laughing wasn't just like hee, you know, going back to their unhealthy habits? What if it was like hee, oh, like let me do that too. And so I had this aha moment, as we all do at some point. And then I decided to combine the two and form Party in My Plants.
Love it. So basically, are you coming in with that message where we try to make people laugh and then try to, you know, awaken them to another way to live, that kind of idea?
I really just want to make healthy living fun and approachable. And I think, you know, a lot of people feel overwhelmed. They feel intimidated. They feel that it's very serious, that they could, you know, screw up. They feel, you know, that it's it's a whole uprooting of their life. And so I try to bring a more approachable, you know, vibe to the whole healthy eating thing.
That's nice. A nice little niche you're carving out there.
Yeah.
So for those watching or listening in, what are some of the tips on how they can start being, you know, getting healthier and not taking life so serious when it comes to how we eat, how we present ourselves, the judgment people have about other people about what they eat and how dogmatic they can get? How do people start to lighten up a little?
Well, the first thing, and the reason my business and brand and everything is called Party in My Plants, is because all I want to inspire people to do is just eat more plants. Okay, that doesn't mean they have to be vegan. That doesn't mean they have to be vegetarian. They don't even need a label if they don't want. I just want to encourage people to eat more plants, and I say eat more plants than you do crap. Crap being chemical, refined, artificial, processed food. So if you just, you know, choose your meals, your snacks, look at your plate, and just make sure there's more plants than crap, for me, you're doing great. Because our bodies can handle a little bit of like Cheetos, you know, every now and again. Like they can. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. So that's the other thing where I really want people to know this is not a perfectionism way of life. And when we, you know, stop trying to be perfect and be so anal and so stressed, if that causes you stress, you know, like some people love being vegan and love, you know, the lifestyle. And if it brings you joy, please do it. But for other people that find it stressful, then don't try to be perfect. You know, we don't want to be stressed while eating healthfully, because then they just like negates the benefits of the whole thing.
And do you recommend, I saw on your website, you got the juice there. Are you into the juicing and all that, you know, that lifestyle too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I typically buy a lot of my juices now. You know,
well, it's so easy in Brooklyn, you know, and California.
Yeah, we have so many, like, and it's just just a couple blocks from me is like a press juicery, you know, where like I can get a that I don't do great with like fruit in my juices, and they make a juice that has no apple or pineapple or anything. So like that's amazing, and it's just right there, and I can just go get it. So that's typically what I do.
Yeah, well, the green juices are the best. We typically recommend those for the best, most energy and everything else. And they're anti-inflammatory, so that's a great way to go. Why do you think it is that people make healthy eating so hard on ourselves? They make it like a living hell, basically, and how do we stop that?
I think it's a lot with the perfectionism thing where people think it's an all or nothing type of situation. And it's really, it doesn't have to be. I think, you know, when people get... Yeah, I also think there's a lot of information being thrown at us every day, right? Like some days it's like only eat whole wheat, anything brown is perfect, and then the next day it's like gluten is the devil, you know, avoid gluten like the plague. Like, you know, like, and people are just stressed out and they don't know what to do. And so that's why I always tell people just to start by eating more plants, just phasing that in, and then naturally the like crap and the stuff will phase itself out. Great.
And the website, again, for those just tuning in or who haven't, you know, haven't really tuned into the brand name, it's partyinmyplants.com, because we didn't mention that before, but it's a great website, it's a great resource, and obviously your message is getting out there. We said you're on Dr. Oz and Sirius XM and other, Success Magazine and Huffington Post and stuff. So and all that really cool stuff.
Yeah,
so,
thanks.
Right? You're like, is there a question? Or
I know.
But right, there's no question. I'm just saying Rachel even talked about you, and that's interesting because, Rachel's got to get some more plant foods in her too.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
So tell us more about the mission, the podcast, everything you're doing over there at partyinmyplants.com. And don't worry, we'll have a link to that at juicegururadio.com. And if you're part of the Rewinders Club, that's the Insider Circle, that's juicegururewind.com. And you can get backstage access as well as a transition to an amazing life. But tell us what you got going on here, because it looks pretty amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, my whole thing is making healthy eating as fun as a party, or as you see here, trying to take the hell out of healthy living. So with everything that I do, my podcast, my YouTube videos, my Instagram, my newsletters, everything, I just add humor and levity to the whole thing of healthy eating. So, I just want to make it really easy, doable, try it on for size. It's not a stressful thing. And, I think when it can be more fun and chill and people see that they don't have to completely uproot their lives in order to eat more plants, you can still go to a tailgate if you want, or Super Bowl parties or weddings, or, you don't have to choose between your health and your happiness, or, your social life and your healthy diet. It's not an, either or type of situation.
Well, I hope you're going to bring me on the show. Now you owe me one.
I think I do.
Yeah, you got to have the Juice Guru on here.
Yeah.
Looks awesome. And again, I showed you guys where the links are. But Talia, anything else? We're going to take some questions from the audience in just a few minutes here. But any other words of wisdom on, how we can get healthier the fun way, anything that you didn't share? And also, we'd love for you to just, do your stand-up routine right now.
Okay, so no to the second part, but thanks. And to the first part, one thing I would love to say is that I get a lot of people who say that they struggle with other people's opinions about them. That they come off as high maintenance, or they just feel really judged by other people when they're eating a healthier diet. And for those people, I just want to encourage you to just own it. And if you just own your healthy diet and you just do it, and you don't go out preaching about it, you just lead by example. You start eating healthier, and your energy, like mine, this is no caffeine mushroom tea, all right? Let's just say, but so your energy goes up, your skin clears up, you might lose some weight, whatever. People will start to ask you, what are you doing? And then you can answer if you want, give them a sip of something, a taste of something, and that. But, a lot of people I speak to, my clients, my audience, feel really insecure and, embarrassed, or that when they order health food at a restaurant, they're coming off as annoying or high maintenance. And I just say, just own it. Just be confident. It's okay.
And how are your friends and family reacting to the change, change in lifestyle, change in the work that you're doing, everything like that?
Oh, they love it. They've been incredibly supportive. I know when they're with me, they pretend that they eat healthier than they actually do when they're without me. But, everyone is curious. I don't bang anyone over the head with it. If we're having a celebration, one thing I always do is make a dessert and make an entree, because that way, no matter what the sides are, there's usually veggie sides or whatever, I always am taken care of, because you never want to be at an event or a dinner or a holiday without a healthy dessert. That's the worst thing in the world. So I do things like that, and sure enough, people start picking at my healthy food and start to request it more. So everyone's been really receptive, and people that aren't, screw you.
And what are your plans for the future? So we know you've got a book coming, and anything else to mention before we take some questions here?
I mean, just really, the book is coming in 2 years, and
I wanted to get it out now because this way people can put it on their calendar. In 2 years, your book will be out.
Yes.
I saw you put in the notes that that maybe this is too early for the interview.
Yeah, is it too early? Are we jinxing it? No, we signed the book deal like a week ago. I mean, we made the deal like a month ago, but then it takes a while to sign it. Anyway, so it's coming out 2020. Yay! And then until then.
Wow.
I'll just be, kicking it at my podcast. Hopefully you can come on and talk about juicing. I've not had anyone on to talk about juicing, so that could be great.
That is something we talk about here. Great. Well, thank you again, Talia. This has been amazing. Again, the website, partyinmyplants.com, and we're going to close out the iHeartRadio part of the show. I don't know if your podcast is, but mine's on iHeartRadio. Are you?
I think so.
Yeah, well, you'll get it on there if not.
I mostly do Spotify and iTunes.
By the way, you've got a great microphone over there. Usually, people have the worst. You're talking to a podcaster when they've got a good mic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I got a pop filter and everything.
Yeah, I want to let you know I appreciate that microphone. It sounds amazing. But this is Steve Prusek, and we'll see you next time. Now, if you're in the community, go ahead and type in your questions for Talia below, or if you're backstage with us, then come on screen with us. You can come on video, or you can just type in the box, and we'll take your question. We see a few of you made it in. Any other questions here, type them in. And then I'll check Facebook.
Yes,
and,
my podcasts are also on my website.
And I'll say, while these questions are coming in, are you going to say that it's becoming more popular in Brooklyn, the health movement? Is it finally, because I grew up, I went vegetarian 26 years ago, vegan 26. So back in New Jersey and New York back then, that's where I lived, it was unheard of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, now it's like I literally have a Whole Foods a block away from me. I have a By Chloe, which is a vegan restaurant. I have the Press Juicery. I have a juice press. I have a Juice Generation. I have in like literally a 5 to 7 block radius. I have all. I have a yoga studio at the juice bar literally across the street. Yeah, it is. We've blown up. We've hit it.
Okay, we're going to just take a few. I see a couple of questions came in. We'll go ahead and answer that, and then we'll let you get back to your day. Thank you for kindly sticking around for the Q&A. We appreciate that, Talia.
Yeah.
Let's see. Valerie on Facebook, a couple questions out there. First, are you totally raw was a question that came in.
Not anymore. So after I discovered that smoothie, I went back to Cobstone College, and I went to school at Syracuse, which is freezing cold. Like it snowed once on April 27th, my birthday. Keep coming up, but it snowed. So yeah, it's freezing. So then I transitioned to regular vegan, and now I'd say I'm plant-based. I'm more like pescatarian-y than raw vegan.
Yeah, and we love the idea of not having judgment. We definitely have gone down that road before, all of us. So,
yes.
Another question, what do you make when you go to events?
Ooh, I always make my black bean brownies without fail. The recipe is on my site. It's the most popular recipe on my site. It's like, 6 or 7 ingredients. Amazing. I usually make a big kale salad. Or what else do I make? Sometimes I make vegan nachos or mac and cheese, something like a little decadent so people don't think I'm just eating like rabbit food or squirrel food or whatever, leaves.
Noella said, very nice, no questions, great. And the last question here from Diane, are the podcasts also available on your website?
Yes, they are.
Awesome.
PartyMyPlants.com/podcast.
You got that. Thank you. Okay, well, great. Thank you again for being here. I guess we'll close out. And once again, thank you. I'm glad we connected and got you on the show.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Thanks, Talia. I'll be in touch. I'll let you know when we air it, and you can spread the love, and we'll do the same.
For sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Juice Guru Radio. Find out more about us at juiceguru.com. Until next time, get your juice on.